Coach Dan here from Rise Above, and I'm here to teach you how to do a side plank dip. Now you'll see that I'm actually going to be up against the wall on this. The reason why I do this on the wall is to make sure I don't have any unwanted movement through my plank hip dip. So let me go ahead and come slightly off the wall first to kind of show you what unwanted movement might be. So to get this set up, I say you're going to lie on your side, you're going to be on your elbow. You could go off the hand, but let's stick with the elbow for now. On the hand is a little bit more advanced. From here, we're going to go ahead, we're going to take those hips, and we're going to raise them up, and the goal is to create a nice straight line through the whole body. Now, I'm going to come back down for a second. So I'm going to show you what unwanted movement looks like when we're doing this. And what I mean by that is, if we're leaning forward or your hips are opening up, they say people tend to think they're in alignment, and say when they're not actually. This is where the wall comes in handy, because when you stick yourself up on the wall, guess what? You have to keep everything connected on the wall as you do this. So it's going to force you to be nice and straight through your movement. Now, if you don't have access to a wall, that's okay. Maybe practice it at home and then bring it to the gym and say where you know what it at least feels like, to make sure you don't have any unwanted movement. So basically, we're back up in this plank, side plank. I'm going to take my hips, I'm going to drop them down to the floor, and then I'm going to raise those hips up. And this is how you actually do your hip dip. Now, if you can't get your hip all the way to the floor, that's okay, no big deal. Go as low as you can as you're doing this, until you get strong enough to actually get all the way to the floor. Now, if you can't do a full plank hip dip, let me go ahead and actually switch sides here so you can see what this will look like to make it a little bit easier. So when we're in this position, you can see everything's up and off the floor. We can make this easier by actually doing it off the knees. And you do this by bending your knees basically at a 90-degree angle, and now all of a sudden you can see what's going on here is that, versus before, my distance has shrunk. It's taken some weight off compared to what I was at with the extended legs. But the movement's still exactly the same, where we're here, dropping those hips down, and then coming on back up. This is gonna make your range of motion a little bit smaller, but that's okay. If you're not strong enough to be in that position, you need a little bit smaller of a range of motion until you build that strength up. But that's how you do your plank side hip dip.